The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I heard this, I've heard it once, I heard it 1,000 times as a kid growing up. It was always on the tail end of something, some excuse being, you know, thrown out there when we get caught in a mistake or a lie or something happens. You'd say something along the lines of like, I didn't mean to. That's not what I wanted to happen. And then you get the road to hell's paved with good intentions. This is the Warrior Podcast, episode 150. Let's talk about how intentions do not dictate, things being good or bad. Intentions are what they are. So there's so many examples in scripture. There's so many examples in real life of times that we want to do X, Y happens, and then we want to go back to X saying, hey, man, this is what I wanted to do, but this is what happened. But ultimately, our intentions were not pure. Nothing's pure, right? Well, and that's sometimes a castaway, like, oh, well, nothing's pure, so hey, whatever. But here's the thing. The key to this whole thing, I think, is knowing that we're always right in our own heart. Proverbs tells us that every man is right in his own heart, but the Lord judges the spirit. So we all think we're the superhero. I don't think anybody sees themselves as the villain. If they do, they're super rare. I mean, those people are sociopaths, psychopaths or something. I think everybody sees themselves as the hero. I mean, even I think Judas Iscariot at some level thought what he was doing was a great idea. It was for the better good, He was willing to bend a couple of, rules or whatever, kind of cut a couple corners because ultimately he was trying to affect the bigger end, and it was worth it. The juice was worth the squeeze in order to get the outcome that he thought was necessary for the situation. We know how that ended. I just have a hard time thinking that there's anybody out there that really is this, white cat, petting supervillain that's wanting to destroy the world and just make everybody, subservient to them. Ultimately, they think they're doing the greater good. I mean, Hitler probably thought he was doing the greater good. Stalin thought he was doing the greater good. So the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I can even prove it in the sense that when Jesus says there will be a time when many will come to him and say, Lord, Lord, did we not do X, Y, Z in your name? We did a lot of good in your name. Say, depart from me, I never knew you. So they had, it seems like, good intentions. But those good intentions fell on deaf ears when it came to judgment, and Christ determines whether he knows them or not. So what's the lesson here? What do we do with this? Great. We understand that we cannot trust our intentions. I cannot trust my intentions. Ultimately, it's what has God told us that we need to be doing, and how has God told us we need to be doing it. So we can get wrapped up in the whole I'm trying phase, but like Yoda said, there is no try. There either is a do or there's a don't. You either did it or you didn't. And so that's the beauty of the gospel, is that our relationship with God is not based on our doing, but on Christ's doing. So he's the only one that had great, good, moral, good intentions and good action followed 100%. He's the only one. So I can try to rely on my good intentions and the outcome of those good intentions, or I can try to rely on his. And so if I'm all about him and his kingdom and applying that, I get to ride the coattails of what he did, is doing, and will do in and through me. That's what Paul basically teaches us in the Gospels, is that it's like, go and kick ass for the Lord, knowing it's God working in and through you for his good pleasure. You are doing it knowing that we're going to fall, but his grace covers the insufficiencies of our actions. It's not a free pass, but ultimately his spirit motivates us. The hope of glory, Christ in you, the hope of glory motivates us, drives us to commit good acts based on good intentions, but they're ultimately his good intentions and his good acts. We're just the vessels for it. And if we commit ourselves to that, we yield to that, we submit to that, we're relying on what he did, not on what we did, do, or will do. It can be a complicated thing, but actually it's pretty simple. And it's just goes back to, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, which people love, and they rightly so. And that's trust in the Lord with all your heart. There's the kind of the intention thing. And in all your ways, acknowledge him, and he'll direct your paths. And commit yourself to him. Humble yourself. Don't be proud. Don't think, oh, I'm better than the guy over here, because all of our intentions are good, but they don't lead to righteous behavior. No one is righteous. No, not one, except for Christ alone. All right. As always, guys, you're a warrior designed for glory. And if you like the content, comment, share, subscribe, interact, and I'll continue to put it out. God be with you and stay in the fight. Peace.